Raise your hand if you're a quitter.
Hello? You're currently on the phone with KCK. Yep, that's me.
Good morning, everybody. It is Monday, January 13th, 6:17 in the morning. I woke up at 4:30, but I took a little longer making my notes than I anticipated. But anyway, we are here. It's cold. I got my little space heater next to me. Yeah. So to go over my intro, the second Friday in January apparently is Quitter's Day. So meaning people quit their New Year's resolutions or New Year's goals or whatever you want to call them. I have not quit mine. I only have one. I think I had two, but I can't remember the other one. So maybe I did quit one of them. And I didn't quit. I guess I have another one. It's 10,000 steps a day, which at my last job, I was able to get no problem because we walked quite a bit. Now, I don't walk as much as I used to. And it's actually quite hard to get 10,000 steps. At one of my first jobs, I would get like 20,000 steps a day. So like there was no problem there. But yeah, so I can only imagine people that have to sit at a desk all day because that would be hard to reach any steps at all, honestly. Yeah, I only got 6,000 yesterday and I walked for like an hour on the treadmill because I had not walked like a single step. Anyway, yeah, so hopefully you guys have kept your resolutions, or I know some people that didn't even do them, and that's fine. Do you. This week was busy for me, which is great. We no longer do bingo because Nathan has class on Wednesdays, so now we do trivia on Tuesdays, and it was actually pretty fun. I knew quite a bit of the answers. There was some that were like presidents. One was like, what law? Like they named some law or some legislation that was passed, and it's like, who was president at the time that passed this law? I'm like, I don't know. We got it right though. Not because of me. It was Franklin, FDR or whatever, and yeah, but they had like company slogans. They had celebrities that start, or celebrities. No, what was it? Like Joshua, the name. One of them, the answer was Joshua Tree. One was Josh Allen, I think is his name. That's who is engaged to Haley Steinfeld. And there was another Josh. I can't remember what it was, but I don't know. It's kind of fun. I'm always hesitant with trivia games because it's not just celebrity stuff. It's like everything. One was about like which newspaper was published first or is the oldest or had this slogan. I'm like, I don't know, because the answer was like clear back in the 1800s. So you have to like know everything, and I don't know how some people do that. Yeah, what else did I do? I went to a new pasta place. I guess they have one in Utah County, but I went to the one at Fashion Place in Murray. It's called Pastaria. I think I went there on, was it Friday night? Yeah, it was Friday night with my friends Sarah and Jackson. And you guys, this place is delicious. It is so good. Also, I was telling Jackson, I was like, I did not feel like gross or bloated or anything after eating that food. So they must use like really good ingredients because usually when you eat like pasta, especially in the United States, you just feel like so full and so just like you just want to lay down for like 3 days. I did not. I felt great, and everything we got was delicious. I got the rigatoni vodka pasta. I can't remember what Sarah and Jackson got. Jackson got the gnocchi pesto, and what else did we get? Anyway, everything we got was so good. It was like I can't wait to go back. We walked in though. The line was super long, so it's basically like a like you stand in line and order your food, and then you go sit down. but the line was so long, and they were actually seating people, which was nice because that place is tiny. They need to expand already. But the line went pretty quick, and it was worth it. So if you go and it's busy, don't be like, should we leave? Should we stay? You should just stay because it's totally worth it. It's right next to Macy's. It's across the street from Nordstrom on the east side. So yeah, go check that out. What did I do? I went on Saturday. Was busy. I went to the gym. I had my training session. Then I went to brunch with my friends Allison and Jackson, and we went to Piper Down. It's like this Irish pub type bar thing. It was really, really good, and you really felt like you were in Ireland. I did a TikTok post about this yesterday, about my day in the life of a Saturday of me. That didn't make any sense, but you understood what I meant. I'm not always that busy, but my plan was to go to the gym, go to lunch, and go home, and it did not turn out that way. So then after that, I drove to Harriman, and we went to a place called The Garage, which was super good. I went with my friends Micah and Taryn, and then I went and drove around the mall. It's new to me because I haven't been out there so long, but apparently it's not that new. Like a couple of years, I guess. But it's got like everything. It has, there's the new Beauty Lab and Laser. That's where that's at for my Housewives fans. It's got Anthropology. Like it literally like, I don't know when they built this because I keep up quite a bit with Utah infrastructure. One of my favorite things to do of all time is just to drive around. I think I got that from my grandma, just to drive around and snoop and plot and scheme. I just like to know what's being built. I like to know, what's going to, even if it's not being built, I like to find out what is going to be built there. Like when they clear land for a new like strip mall or whatever, and they do it in phases. I'm like, okay, well now I want to know what's happening in phase 2 and phase 3 and what housing developments are going in, and I want to know everything. I just love it so much. So yeah, I went out there, and they have a Brandy Melville. If you're not aware of Brandy Melville, the only thing I know about them is they are, imagine the meanest girl you could ever possibly imagine or picture or went to school with. So that is the qualification to work at Brandy Melville. You also have to be a size -4, and they only sell sizes like extra small to small. The only thing I know about them is from what Tana Mojo says on her podcast. They were talking about it once, her and Brooke, and they're like, surely there's a documentary coming out. I think that actually is true. There might be a documentary coming out, but it's just a horrible, toxic workplace, and it's known for having mean girls work there, and they literally don't give a shit if they help you, and that no one knows how they're still in business because their business motto is so bad. But yeah, they have one of these in Harriman, so run and sprint as fast as you can to go and see. But I was reading the reviews on it because I was just curious. It has 2.5 stars, and most of the comments are about how the girls just sat in the corner and were so unhelpful, and finally when someone asked them for their help, they were like so bothered and bugged that anyone dared ask them to check them out or help them find a different size other than an extra small. And one lady was like, this store, I took my daughter there and we were really shocked. They only carry sizes extra small and small. And I'm like, yeah, you clearly don't know the lore behind this awful company. But yeah, so if you are a mean girl, you can submit your application to Brandy Melville in Harriman, Utah. And yeah, I don't know. My friend Catherine went there the other day for her birthday, and she's like, I loved it. I had a great experience. I don't know if she bought clothes. I think she just bought jewelry. I could be wrong, but I've never heard her talk about Brandy Melville ever in my life. And she was like talking about it, and she's like, yeah, we went out there for that. I'm like, interesting. That's a long way for you to drive to go there. Yeah. Anyway, what else did I do? So after that, I went and met my friend Mallory after she got done working. We went to Trader Joe's. I'm so mad I didn't record this. When you kind of just get distracted because you're having such a fun time. And I didn't record going to Trader Joe's or to Costco. Which the Costco we went to, in Sandy, there was like no parking. We had to park clear on the side of the building. And that frustrates me. What else do we do? After that, I went to my friend's Emma Michelle's in, I don't know if it's Cottonwood Heights or Holiday. It's one of those places. And it was Michelle's birthday yesterday, so Saturday we celebrated. And we went downtown to a restaurant called Sol Agave. It's a Mexican restaurant. I honestly don't know what I had. I couldn't pronounce it. But I think it was like filet mignon enchiladas, and they had shrimp on top, which is kind of weird, but it was good. And then we ordered this butter cake. My mouth is watering already talking about it. I love butter cake. Butter cake is my favorite. Besides like a lemon bundt cake, butter cake, oh my gosh. I just love savory and sweet stuff. So I'm definitely more of a savory person, but I do like sweets, every now and then. But they had vanilla bean ice cream on top of it. Oh my gosh, you guys, this place is so good. They have one in American Fork too, by the Cinemark. And I honestly didn't know what it was. I honestly thought the way that it's painted and stuff made it seem like it was like a spa. I don't know how to explain it, but it did not look like a restaurant. The one in American Fork. The one downtown is actually pretty nice, and they have free parking, so that's a huge plus. Yeah, it was super good. Then we went out to Sayonara, the bar downtown. We went to Bodega, which is known for having cheap shots. I didn't drink because I am being a good boy, but I had to drive home, so that's why. Yeah, this bar Bodega is tiny, tiny, tiny. Like, I don't know how it's even like it's basically the size of a food truck. And I'm not exaggerating. Maybe 2 food trucks put together. And they're known for cheap shots, so everyone kind of starts the night out there, but they're like the alcohol is so bad and not good. Yeah, so they had a bunch of tequila shots there, my friends did, which if you like tequila, I have this theory that people that like tequila are lying. Tequila is awful. It's horrible. It's disgusting. I am a vodka person, in my opinion. People think I'm nuts, but it just gets the job done. And if you have the right vodka, like if you're drinking Tito's compared to Grey Goose or Belvedere, there's a huge difference. Grey Goose and Belvedere goes down like butter. It's like smooth. Yes, it does have a little bit of kick because it's alcohol, but Tito's and those cheap vodkas are like, they will do damage. Just to say that. And then we went to Quarters. It's this like underground bar, but it's all like arcade games and stuff. And we went there just to take pictures in the photo booth, and then we went home. And that was my weekend. I did something else too. What did I do? I got my eyebrows done on Wednesday, and me and Mallory went to Aubergine, which I love Aubergine, but it's getting kind of expensive, you guys. Which is unfortunate because I'm eating healthy, and it's like now I don't even want to go there because it's so expensive. And they have a Barnes & Noble in American Fork. Did you guys know that? Everyone that's not in Utah is like, I don't care. People are in Utah, they're like, I still don't care. Yeah, so anyway, I drive a lot, and it doesn't bother me one bit because I listen to podcasts and music, and yeah, so that was kind of a more busy week that I usually have. I really, really want to slow down. I think this week I haven't planned anything, which makes me really excited, so there's that. What was I was going to talk about something that I forgot. Dang it, what was I going to talk about? Oh yeah, let's talk about the TikTok ban. So it sounds like it's going to happen, but I did listen to the hearing. I don't even know what it was called, but it was the lawyer that wants it banned. She works for the government or something, and it was the lawyer for TikTok who's trying not to get it banned. And they both kind of stated their claims or whatever. To me, it seemed like the Supreme Court, whatever their judges are, they were kind of like asking questions and having the tone of, so what's the point of this? Like, why are we doing this? Doesn't this infringe on this right or this law? Like, who's to say if this happens, this isn't going to happen? I don't know, but there's a lady on TikTok that she's basically like her own news channel, and she gets a lot of views, and she just has a lot of facts, and she updates every day. She was saying that just because it sounds like it's going one way doesn't mean they're actually going to vote that way. But to me, it sounded like they were kind of just curious as to why any of this was going on. I don't know. But then the one TikTok lawyer made a great point. He's like, so just so you're aware, Shein and Temu collect the same amount of data as TikTok, just FYI. And they're Chinese-owned companies, which I think the majority of the company is owned from a company in Singapore, which is not China, by the way. So there's that. But yeah, a week from yesterday, we have 6 days left with TikTok, you guys, and I'm actually super sad. I've actually got to thinking about it, and I'm gonna lose like my videos. I'm gonna lose my favorites. This is just like my comfort app, you guys. Like this, and plus, it not even just the funny aspect of it. I have learned so much, like things that I thought I was going through alone. Like people post videos about it, and it gets like millions of likes. I'm like, oh, so I'm not the only one that thinks like this. I'm not the only one that is feeling like this right now, or throughout my life. It just kind of makes you feel less alone and more seen and more heard, and you just kind of are at peace. Like when you find out that other people are going through those things too. Plus just like knowledge. I've learned so much, so many tips and tricks to make your life easier. I honestly, I use Google quite a bit, but I use TikTok just as much as I use Google now. I don't know. And Instagram is just not, it just doesn't cut it. It's not TikTok. And the reels just aren't it. They don't have nearly half of the tools and stuff that you can use on TikTok. It's not a smooth editing or posting, what am I trying to say, process. It's just, I don't know. And for the amount of time it took to make another Vine, quote unquote Vine, was quite a bit. Like they had Musical.ly that came pretty quickly, but no one really used Musical.ly except for like children until they changed to TikTok. TikTok also has this app they're trying to push on us called Lemon8, and it just isn't it. I don't know how. Is that going to stay around, or is TikTok just gone? I don't know. They're saying that you can't even change your VPN. Is that what they call it? You can't change your location to like Canada or United Kingdom. Also, it's like, are other companies worried about this? They're worried that in the future, people and like teenagers and kids that are on right now who will become part of like the military or the army or some government official, and the Chinese government will have access to all of this. And I'm like, okay, well then just make it a law that people who work in the government can't have TikTok. Like that settles a lot of things, Imagine not working for the government just so you can have TikTok. I don't know. It's a sad thing, and there's multiple reasons why I'm sad that it's leaving. One specifically, and I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do to cope. I was asking my trainer at the gym the other day that he doesn't use, I don't think anything. He doesn't have TikTok. I don't think he has Instagram. And so I was genuinely curious when people don't have those things. I'm like, what do you do? Like, what do you do when you're getting your oil changed and you're just kind of sitting there? Like, do you just sit there? Like, what do you look at? Do you Google things? Do you read a magazine? Like, like you just have that little bit of downtime and you're waiting the airport. Like, what do you do? I'm asking for myself because I need ideas. It's been so long. And I was so against downloading TikTok, like so against it. My friend Landon kept begging me to get TikTok. He's like, please. And I'm like, no, Landon, I've seen the cringiest, most awful videos on there. I don't want to be a part of that era or that app. And finally, when COVID hit, I downloaded it like millions of other people. And I was instantly hooked. Instantly. I was actually going through my following list, and I was unfollowing like accounts that weren't even active anymore, or people I didn't really want to follow. And I went clear to the bottom, and all those ones I started following at the very beginning are all now verified. They all have millions of followers. They're like influencers, they go to fashion shows. I'm just like, I wish I would have started posting, but that was back in my fat era, so I didn't want to post. I didn't want to take a picture of myself at all, let alone post one. So yeah, that was not a time for me to be on online. And I don't know why lately I've been posting TikToks and stuff, and I'm like, I don't know why I'm putting so much energy into this because it's probably going to be gone. But I will have to start posting on Instagram, so it's like good practice for me. So there's that, but still, it's a sad day for me and for 170 million other TikTok users, which is crazy. That's more than half of, well, that's probably about half of America that has TikTok. Crazy. Also, did you see Mark Zuckerberg is taking away fact checking from Facebook and, well, Meta companies? Why? What is the purpose of that? Like, how hard? I mean, I guess I don't know technology, but is it really using that much effort to fact check things? That's kind of scary. That's especially in the wake of TikTok leaving. Like, now we're just gonna have social media companies that are just spewing false information. I don't know. Like, I think even our Twitter has fact checking, and it's run by one of the most corrupt men in the entire world. So that's interesting. Also, speaking of Mark Zuckerberg, did you guys? I don't know if it was just me, but did you see that new creepy commercial or ad they have on TikTok about Be Real? It's like an AI generated video of Mark Zuckerberg, and it's like you're on a train car, and he's like sitting in front of you, like looking over his seat. All you can see are his eyes on the top of his head, and he's like staring at you, and he's like, even he knows what's about to happen. Apparently Be Real is going to have a huge rebrand. Who knows, maybe they'll be the new TikTok. But they're referencing like Mark Zuckerberg is scared of what we're about to do. But it is the creepiest, scariest video I've seen. Like, it was terrifying. I couldn't look away, but also I was like screaming internally. I'm like, what is this? This is like not something I want to be looking at. It's so scary. If you know what I'm talking about, message me and let me know, because I hope I'm not the only one that saw that. Maybe my TikTok is just deranged. What else am I going to talk about? Let's see. So speaking of TikTok, I am loving all of these. I guess it's not just TikTok, but it's social media in general. All these old pictures of Kim Kardashian surfacing, all these old selfies and all, like 2011-ish era. And they just have like these dumb quotes on them. Like, one is something about a man relaxing or being bored doesn't sit right with me. Go apologize to a woman. Like, there's just so many of these random things, and it's just over a selfie of Kim Kardashian. I actually posted one yesterday, or a couple days ago. It's of her crying when they're in Breckenridge going skiing. It's like one of the very first episodes. And you're supposed to put, like, the thing was, when I'm being held at gunpoint and I tell the robbers to take anything they want, and they take this, and she's like crying. It's like your most prized possession. I saw one, it was about, they took a case of Dr. Pepper, and mine was, they took my discontinued Kim Aid Alani, which I will never ever get over that they took that from me. But they keep everyone else. In my opinion, get rid of the orange, not the orange creamsicle one, but the orange, just regular orange one. It tastes like Fanta. It's not anything special. Get rid of it. Bring back Kim Aid. Like, what are we doing? Also, the Hawaiian, is it Hawaiian slush, Hawaiian shaved ice one, is not good either. Get rid of those two. Bring back Kim Aid. I don't care what you have to pay her. Honestly, you guys, I didn't know what Alani was until Kim partnered with them. Truly, I did not know. And now they have millions of my dollars. Just kidding. But like, truly, it worked. Getting her to, like, she was probably the first main celebrity, and the biggest one by far that they partnered with. And it worked. It truly worked. I think that's kind of what sparked their popularity. They've been around for a while, but whatever they paid her was worth it. And then they cancel her drink? Really? It doesn't make sense to me. Traitors season 3 is out. I watched the first episode last night when I was taking my bath, and it's good. Except for there's a lot of Survivor people on there, and there's just one aspect of this season they're trying to force upon us so badly, and I don't like it. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. I don't understand. They keep changing all these rules and stuff, and I'm like, you guys are only on season 3. Like, why are you changing the game so frequently? They keep adding new rules and new challenges and new stuff, and I'm like, okay, maybe like at 5 seasons you can change this, but like, we like the show how it is. But there's this one that they're just trying to shove it in our face and make us want to have it happen. I'm like, we don't want this to happen. Fetch will never happen. It's kind of annoying to me, and I've only watched 1 episode. Other than that, I love it. Chriselle from Selling Sunset's on it. Dorinda from Real Housewives of New York is on it. One of the housewives from Dubai is on it. Zac Efron's brother, Tom Sandoval. Who else is on it? Oh gosh, there's someone else that I know. Anyway, it's on. Go watch it. It's on Peacock. So they're saying Beyonce has an announcement tomorrow. You guys, it's tomorrow. And Billboard was saying they're kind of going, even though I really don't like Billboard, they were saying what they think Beyonce is going to announce. A lot of people think it's going to be the tour, which I do agree with that. Other people think it's going to be the 3rd installment of this 3-act part. I think it's too soon for that. So it says 10 things Beyonce might announce on January 14th. Cowboy Carter Deluxe, which would be fun. I'd be curious to see what songs are on that. Cowboy Carter / Beyonce Bowl documentary. I could see that happening because she announced the announcement the day of, was it Christmas Day? Yeah, it was Christmas, of the Beyonce Bowl. I can see that. Cowboy Carter World Tour. I think it might be that one. A Cowboy Carter residency. Now, this could happen. There was rumors that she was going to do a residency in Vegas. They wanted her at the Sphere, but they wouldn't let her rehearse there. They're like, we can't close for 2 weeks for you to rehearse. I'm like, you guys have no idea the money you just turned down. Also, the Sphere is getting outrageously priced because you can go there and just watch. They're not like movies, but it's kind of like going to the Clark Planetarium in Utah, and watching those space movies, which actually is really fun. I went to one time with some family friends. They were taking their kids to like some other kid's birthday party, and I went along with them, and we started watching this movie about space, and the narrator started talking. I'm like, oh my god. I'm like, that's Jennifer Lawrence. I'm like, I love this. I was like just as excited as the kids were to be there. I don't think she'll do a residency though yet. I think she'll wait until the 3rd act is done and over with, and then she'll do a residency. That just seems more likely to me. Number 6 would be a 2025 Houston Rodeo appearance, which would be interesting. The Houston Rodeo is massive. 5 is her own country music festival. That's the stretch to me, I think. Number 4 is Cowboy Carter and Act 3 World Tour. None of that makes sense to me. That's the same as the one before, as the 2 before. I don't think she would announce like Act 3 and then a tour at the same time. I don't know. I could be wrong, but that doesn't seem likely to me. Act 3 lead single. Again, I think it's too early for Act 3. Number 2 is the visuals from Renaissance. Fans have been begging to get visuals of Renaissance, and I don't blame them, but I think she's even stated in the GQ magazine that came out in October, I think, that the visuals, what did she say? That Renaissance was the visual, is what she said. I don't know. What's not on here is the Renaissance movie, the tour movie. It's not streaming anywhere. It just came out in theaters, and unlike Taylor Swift's that went to Disney Plus for $75 million, this one is not on any streaming service or anywhere to buy it. Which, this one was so good. The editing, honestly, should be up for awards because it was just so good. I've already talked about this, I know, but Okay, number one is a new album, aka Act 3. So, three of these have been the same thing. And so basically, there's only 7 things that they think that she's going to announce tomorrow. What do you guys think she's going to announce? I personally think it's going to be a tour. Yeah, I think it's going to be a tour. I could see it being a Cowboy Carter Deluxe, but did she do a Deluxe of Renaissance? She didn't do that until she released the movie. Anyway, yeah, I think it's going to be the tour, which if you haven't gone to a Beyonce concert and you've kind of been wondering why people think she's the greatest, you should go if you can, if it's like convenient for you, if it's in a city where you can go to or you're in already, and just experience it. It's just a phenomenal thing to experience, someone being that talented and that gifted. Honestly, it's just kind of incredible. What else did I want to talk about? Okay, so I guess we can start with this one. I'm going to talk about it more. I'm obviously going to get to the fires in LA. Don't worry, I will definitely get to that. But Heidi Montag, she was one of the stars of The Hills. If you guys remember that, that's one of the early reality shows. Her and her husband Spencer are kind of just like, what would you call them, like D-list celebrities? But they're pretty popular on TikTok. Their house burned down though. And Heidi had a music career, a short-lived music career that didn't really go anywhere. Apparently she had a feud with Lady Gaga. She wanted the song Fashion. It's the one Lady Gaga sings for, it was supposed to be for another movie, but they used it for Confessions of a Shopaholic. And it went to Lady Gaga, which I'm glad because it got the recognition it deserved. But she had a very short-lived music career, and it's just basically, it's like, what am I trying to say? It's like, who's Kim Zolciak from Housewives of Atlanta? It's kind of like that vibe of music and that style and that production level, even though Spencer said that they spent all of their money on this album and it's produced by the best people, and I'm like, apparently it's not that good because it didn't go anywhere. Anyway, what I'm saying is their house burned down and they've kind of been talking about it on TikTok, and that people are streaming her music and buying it. It's like number 1 on iTunes right now. It's been streamed on TikTok. So people are like kind of like, I think Spencer, I couldn't tell if he was crying or laughing. I was kind of half asleep, but he was talking about how, honored? That's not the right word. How, what did he say? He's just grateful. That's what I'm looking for. He's grateful to everyone who's been doing this because they literally don't have any money, which is funny because, they were driving an Escalade, which is not a cheap car to drive. And when they were fleeing the fire, she was wearing an Hermes scarf. So they must have some money. They're not like completely broke. I just think it's funny that people like on TikTok, it's like a trend right now to support Heidi Montag's music career. Let's see what else. So at the Golden Globes last week, Demi Moore won her first award. I think it's her biggest award she's won, which is crazy. Amelia Perez won quite a bit, and that's kind of caused controversy because the song that won over Wicked is just crazy. I wouldn't even call it a song. Shogun won quite a bit of awards. What else won? Baby Reindeer won 2 awards. I'm trying to think of other things that won. Anyway, it was pretty good. But what I'm getting at is people are speculating that Tom Holland and Zendaya are engaged because she was wearing a ring. So I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. I would not be surprised if that was true. My favorite dress of the night, Kylie Jenner. She looked phenomenal. She looked amazing. I love how she was there to support him. She kind of stayed out of the way. She was just happy to be there. Honestly, she looked so good. She was wearing vintage Versace that was made, I think, by Donatella in the 90s. And she just looks so good. She, if there's one thing that the Kardashians can do, it is get glammed up and go out and look amazing. And they did that. And I'm glad that she went because, you don't hear a lot about them. They're pretty private, her and Timothy. And so to see them randomly at like these award shows it's like, oh good, okay, we can relax for a minute because we know they're together still. It's just like a breath of fresh air, a sigh of relief. Yeah, I don't think Timothy won anything. What was he there for? A complete unknown. It must have been, because I don't think he's in anything else, is he? Oh, Dune maybe. Yeah, because Zendaya was there. Well, she was there for Challengers. Which I think did Challenger. It did win something. I think it did, which is good because it's such a good movie. Amy Schumer has a new movie coming out on Netflix. It's called Kinda Pregnant. The synopsis of the movie says, where did it go? It was just here. Basically, her friend is pregnant and she's jealous of her friend. So she starts wearing a fake baby bump. I don't know why. And then she meets the love of her life, or someone she's interested in. I guess that's what they were saying. But it's got a good actress in it. Jillian Bell. She is from, what is it? Someone runs a marathon. What is that called? Hang on, let me just click on her name and see. Brittany runs a marathon, I think is what it's called. I think it's a true story too. She's also in Rough Night, Office Christmas Party, 22 Jump Street. If you saw her, you'd know, and she's pretty hilarious. Will Forte, I'm guessing that's her love interest. Alex Moffat from Saturday Night Live, Jackie Sandler, Adam Sandler's wife. Molly Sims is in it. It comes out February 5th on Netflix, so it should be good. I love Amy Schumer. People don't like her, and I don't understand why. I think she's hilarious, but to each their own, I guess. I think she's funny, and her movies are so funny. The one where she is I Feel Pretty. Oh my gosh, that movie is so funny. That movie is hilarious. You guys, if you haven't seen it, go watch it. Okay, The Odyssey, we've talked about this recently, is Christopher Nolan's newest movie that he's working on, and it has a budget of $250 million, which is an insane amount of money. So I was just curious what movies were the most expensive to make. Basically, they're all Disney. Disney and Universal. Let's see. Number one is Star Wars The Force Awakens, 2015. It cost $447 million to make. Number two is Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, which is... This is the third one, isn't it? Is that the third one? Of the newest franchise. Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, $416 million. It says Fast X. I don't know if that's supposed to be 10. $379 million. Number 5 is Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides, $379 million. Basically, they're all like Avengers, Doctor Strange, Avatar, Way of Water, Ant-Man, Indiana Jones. I mean, these are all Disney. The Marvels, Infinity War, Pirates of the Caribbean, At World's End. That one's so good. It's kind of a weird storyline, but it's so good. Beauty and the Beast, really? Spider-Man 3, Tangled. That one surprised me. That cost $258 million to make. That's a lot of money. Yeah, I'm honestly, these are all Disney movies. Crazy. Disney and Universal. Is that one? What is The Hobbit? Is that Warner Brothers? I don't know, but that's a big budget. I don't even think Oppenheimer's on here for being that much. It's not even on this list, and there's 62 of them. So that just tells you the level of money that's being poured into this movie, which I'm guessing we'll see in 2026, which I guess I can say next year now. I used to be able to say 2026. Lady Gaga has just reached another milestone, record-breaking career moment. Die With a Smile has reached number 1 finally on the charts. I was shocked it took so long because it's still number 1 on Spotify. I think it's now the fastest song to reach 1 billion streams. It was Flowers, and I think it was something else, and now it's Die With a Smile. But she ties Michael Jackson with having multiple number 1 songs in 3 different decades. So it's Just Dance, Poker Face, same decade. Born This Way, Shallow, same decade. Rain on Me, and Die With a Smile, same decade, obviously. So there's that. I will never forgive the general public or anyone, particularly in the whole world, for not making Bad Romance be number 1. That song should have been number 1 for like 60 weeks. That song that song changed the chemistry, the brain chemistry in my head. And the music video, don't even get me started. Best music video of all time. I can't fathom why it didn't reach number one. And I think what blocked it was a Black Eyed Peas song. Like, what was it? Not I'm a Bee, but one of those songs in that era. Which I do like that era, but it shouldn't have beat Bad Romance in my opinion. Not in my house. That song went triple, quadruple platinum in my house. Okay, speaking of Alani, Meghan Maroney has partnered. She's the newest partner of the Alani family. She has a drink. Apparently, it's sold out online. That's false because I was at a gas station the other day and there was a entire stand full of them. Watermelon Wave, and I have not tried it yet. I bought 2 of them. They were warm, so I didn't want to drink them. It says sip on something juicy with Watermelon Waves revamp. Now with a juicy melon meets twangy lemon flavor. 200 milligrams of caffeine is insane. B vitamins and 0 sugar in every swig. The chart-topping chill is here to fuel you from big cities to back roads. I feel like this is a weird time to launch this. This seems like a summer fragrance, a summer taste. Is that what summer flavor? Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, and even the pictures, the promo pictures are of her sitting in a green field of flowers. So I feel like this is a weird time to launch this, but it's not my company. As we all can all tell, if it was my company, K-Made would still be there. So yeah, go and give that a try. Let's see what else. Okay, let's get to the fires. So the fire has burned, what was it, 29,000 acres or something like that, which is a lot. And there's multiple of them, and people are starting fires. They said they've arrested 69 people for burglary and theft, and they said basically all the people that have done that, they go into evacuation zones when people are gone, and they break into houses and steal stuff. And they say that the people they've arrested, they don't even live in those areas, so they're just like waiting for these evacuations to happen, and then they go in. Which, what is wrong with you? Also, what is wrong with the people who are like, good, let everything burn, they're rich, they can afford to do it? I'm like, you guys are sick, honestly. You guys are evil, vile people. Like, what is... I can't imagine having that mentality. And then Jamie Lee Curtis, this was before the fires got like super bad. She was on Jimmy Fallon, and she wasn't even asking for money or anything. She was just like expressing... You could tell she was like about to cry. She's like, you guys, my home is on fire right now. My hometown is on fire right now. It's bad. Like, people are losing everything. I think she said, if you can, donate to Red Cross. That's basically all she said. But then she's like, I'm an ambassador or something for Red Cross, and here are the things that you should have in your house in case of emergencies, like first aid kit, water. Just like, she was just naming things. And in the comments, like, what about Asheville, or North Carolina? What about this? All of them were all... Well, what about Asheville? I think this was called Asheville, North Carolina. And if you're unaware of what that is, it's a town that was affected by the latest hurricane. Which, if you do look at pictures, it's bad. Like, it's not good. And they've had like no help and stuff. But I'm like, Kate, you are correct. But right now, there's cities on fire. Like, one of the biggest cities, most famous cities in the whole world, is on fire. And not everyone that lives there is rich. Like, it's not just full of rich people. Yes, there are rich people, and yes, there are celebrities that live there, but it's not just that. Like, have some compassion. But like, I can't imagine watching somebody's whole life burn to the ground and being like, well, they deserve it. Well, it's the, awakening that they needed. I'm like, you guys need help, honestly. You do need help. Anyway, here are some of the celebrities' houses that have burned down and are no longer standing. Miles Teller, Cameron Matheson, Eugene Levy, Paris Hilton. She says she watched her house in Malibu burned to the ground on live television. Billy Crystal, he has lived in his house with his wife since like 1979, and I can't imagine. Like, that's just awful. John Goodman, Anna Faris, Spencer and Heidi Pratt, Jen Atkins. She's the celebrity hairstylist who owns the Way Company. Adam Brody and Leighton Meester, Rosie O'Donnell, Milo Ventimiglia, Anthony Hopkins. Apparently he had 2 houses burned down. Jeff Bridges, Mel Gibson. They said Mandy Moore's house had burned down, but then I saw an article that said it hadn't. Barbara Corcoran from Shark Tank, her house burned down. Tina Knowles, Beyonce's mom, Jennifer Love Hewitt, Brad Paisley, Melissa Rivers, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, John C. Reilly, Taran Killam, and Colby Smulders. And Bella Hadid posted that I don't think they own the house anymore, but the childhood home that their parents built and raised them in was completely burned down. Tons of celebrities are donating. Beyonce's foundation Be Good has donated $2.5 million. Kardashians have donated thousands of meals to firefighters. Skims is donating clothes. Paris Hilton paid $100,000, and she said she'd match another $100,000. For people donate $100,000, and she'll donate another $100,000 on top of that. Jamie Lee Curtis donated $1 million. Dua Lipa donated to the LA Fire Department. Disney's donated $15 million. Paramount $1 million. Apple's donated Jared Isaacman. Apparently he's a billionaire. Mark Zuckerberg, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, Kylie Jenner. Halle Berry donated her entire closet, she said. Sharon Stone, Bethany Frankel, Eva Longoria. So, yeah, it's really bad. And there's tons of people. There was rumors that Miley Cyrus's house had burned down. I couldn't find it really anywhere. But if that's the case, that is sad. That's her second house to burn down. If you listen to her song Flowers, she says built a house and watched it burn, which she means figuratively and literally, because her house in Malibu with Liam Hemsworth burned to the ground. So it'd be awful if another one of her houses burned down. I can't imagine. People are saying that Calabasas was being evacuated, which is where tons of famous people live. Kardashians all live there. Yeah. It's kind of crazy because they have these videos online that are clearly AI generated, and people believe them. Like Kim Kardashian shares footage of her house burning down, and it's like, that looks like it came from a video game. And like there's like people screaming and running around in the background. I'm like, you guys, who is believing this? And in the comments, people were like, oh wow, that's so sad. Oh wow, she's rich, she can rebuild. Someone on TikTok posted a video about people complaining that celebrities, people are having compassion for celebrities, and someone's like, they were mad that Kim Kardashian, this wasn't even for this fire, it was for the one last year or the year before where she hired private firefighters to save her house, and she ended up saving like the whole neighborhood because of these private firefighters. And people were complaining about that. They're like, she's taking away from them being able to save the fire. I'm like, well, they kind of did save the fire, but they're also private firefighters. And then someone was like, I think people who are able to buy their houses back, 20 times over shouldn't be allowed to, what did they say? It was something ridiculous. And someone's like, so just because people have money and are able to buy another house means that they shouldn't be able to? Like, they were saying that if people could buy another house, that there should be a law where they couldn't. They should have to give it to the people that can't afford it. I'm like, okay, you guys are nuts. But apparently, like, the insurance is crazy right now in Los Angeles. Tons of insurance companies dropped fire coverage for people in Los Angeles, which is insane because they're known to have fires. Like, California is known to have fires. None of it's making sense. The governor dropped all these laws around environmental laws that postpone getting things built or permits or whatever. Apparently he's bypassed all those so people can build faster, but he said it will still take 9 months to a year to be able to start rebuilding. There's like 13 or 14,000 structures that have burned to the ground. It's going to take a year for you to start building again. Something about that just doesn't seem right. I was curious because Utah has fires quite often, which I don't think we had any this year. Any that were significant, at least. I was curious with the biggest fire in Utah, and it was in 2006, I think it was, and it burned 363,000 acres, 571 square miles, it said, which, that's huge. That's massive. And I'm not trying to be like, well, Utah had a bigger fire. Obviously, the fires in Utah are mostly in the mountains. I mean, they do threaten and burn, houses down and stuff. But it's not like in LA where it's like the most densely populated areas are on fire. And they say the winds are like hurricane force winds. It's the Santa Ana winds that are happening right now, which happens every year. But it's just like fanning the flames. They're like, this fire is, at this point right now, it's like fightable. Like there's nothing we can really do to help this. We're just trying our best. They've had people from Canada come in. When I was driving home on, was it Wednesday? I think it was Wednesday, from the gym. I was on the freeway and there was just a line of fire trucks from cities throughout Utah headed south. Obviously they're headed to California. They say Mexico's brought people up from there to help fight the fires. Like, it's bad. It's like really bad, and it's super sad to watch. Yeah, anyway, let's move on from that. Apparently there's footage of Blake Lively being rude at work. So it just keeps getting worse and worse for her. It's going to be interesting to see how this unfolds. But do you remember the story I told you about where she made Justin Baldoni and his family and friends sit in a basement room until they were done walking the red carpet? And then she made them go into a different theater. Well, Bethenny Frankel, she's a former Real Housewives of New York. Is it New York or New Jersey? I think she's from New York. She's like, you guys, I totally forgot about this story, but hearing this article reminded me of it. She's like, I got invited to the premiere of It Ends With Us, and it was in New York, and she said it was really weird because they had us walk the red carpet, and then there was like an hour or two break in between, which usually doesn't happen. So like we went and got drinks and then came back, and we went to this theater, and she's like, something was off. So you could tell that the vibes were just off, like something was wrong. She's like, we didn't even see Blake Lively in the theater, and she's like, we ended up leaving because there was something about the feeling in the air that didn't seem right. And she was in the theater that Justin Baldoni had to be in because Blake Lively wouldn't let him be in her theater. And so I'm like, well, that just puts more proof and evidence that this whole movie thing is just a toxic environment. And the fact that she backed it up, I go back and forth between Bethenny Frankel. She's kind of nuts and mean, but she also does, say a lot of facts. So I don't know. Just play it by ear, I guess. Chase Chrisley, he is from the show Chrisley Knows Best. His parents are the ones I've talked about. They're in prison right now for tax fraud or wire fraud or something. He was arrested. I didn't know he actually got arrested. But let's see. Hang on. Let me find the article. Where is it? Anyway, he was drunk at a bar the other night, and they called the cops because they said he was being... Oh, here it is. They said he was being belligerent. It says, reality TV personality Chase Chrisley is facing legal repercussions after being accused of slapping a bar manager in Atlanta. The Chrisley Knows Best and Growing Up Chrisley star 28 was arrested Thursday by Atlanta Police Department. I heard the phone call, and it sounded like he was leaving, and so he wasn't going to get arrested, but apparently he did. 3 days after an altercation at Twin Peaks Sports Bar, according to the police records reviewed by Entertainment Weekly, Chrisley was charged with simple battery and released on a $10,000 bond. If they arrested him 3 days after, that must mean that they saw footage of him actually doing this. According to police records, let's see. 3 days after an altercation. So they must have had proof that he actually did this, but his lawyers, he has 3 lawyers. Why 3 lawyers for this? This is weird. I don't think you have the money to be having 3 lawyers right now, Chase. Chrisley's attorneys Drew Findling, Marissa Goldberg, and Zach Findling said the incident has been entirely blown out of proportion. In a statement provided by Entertainment Weekly, Chase Chrisley had done the right thing that evening by calling a driver to take him home. He did not assault anyone. Chase was trying to close out his tab and leave. We will be independently investigating the situation. I think... yeah, it sounded like you're not as innocent as it is. Yeah, so there's that. He must not be coping well with the news of his parents not getting the compassion they were looking for in prison. Let's see, what else? Do you guys know Cher doesn't have a last name? She was on Jimmy Kimmel, I think it was, and he was asking her just random questions, and he's like, "What's your last name?" She's like, "I don't have one." She's like, "I went to the court and they got rid of it." She says, "It's a long process though. You have to prove that people would be able to recognize you, publicly if you just had one name." And he's like, "Well, it's probably pretty easy for you." She's like, "You would think that, but it was actually harder than you think." So she has no last name. I wonder what it used to be. I don't know. Just curious. What did Cher's last name used to be? Sorry, let me get the right keyboard. I always start typing on the wrong keyboard. What was Cher's last name? Sarkisian? Sarkisian. She's from not Albania. Armenia. The Grammy winner changed her legal full name to Cher in the late 70s, dropping her four surnames, her birth name Sarkisian, plus the last names of her stepfather Gilbert LaPierre and ex-husbands Sonny Bono and Greg Allman. She said Sonny took everything from her. Her clothes, her money, like everything. She basically had to start all over. So that's kind of interesting. Tate McRae is supposedly, her new album comes out next month, and supposedly on TikTok, so it could be fake. She sampled the song "The One That Got Away" by Katy Perry, aka the best song of all time, in a new song. The song's fun. It's not The One That Got Away. Let's just get that right. But I was Googling it and nothing popped up, but I forgot that she played the song at her concert. I forgot about that. And apparently she sang it on BBC Radio, and she's done it multiple times, but she says, "I wish I would have wrote this song." And I'm like, I think everyone does. Tate, you're not alone. Truly is one of the greatest songs. Okay, I saw this on TikTok. This is a Utah info. There is a fine art gallery coming to Utah. Another one. I guess it's another one because when I Googled it, there's already ones that popped up. But it says, "This historic synagogue, older than the Salt Lake Temple, is about to become an art museum." It's the oldest synagogue in the state, home to the first permanent Jewish house of worship in Utah. Its completion in 1891 even predates the Salt Lake Temple. It says, this is from the person who bought it. "I've wanted this building for a long time," said Micah Christensen, Salt Lake resident, who recently purchased a historic synagogue for $3 million. "I've got some connection to this building. I'm half Jewish by descent and half Mormon pioneer by descent, and my great-grandfather Philip Fitzler was a member of the congregation, so it feels full circle. The building hasn't been a synagogue since the 70s and has taken on many lives in the decades since, including a school, office spaces, and restaurant. Christensen has more creative plans. The goal from the very beginning was to create a museum. Work has already begun on the Salt Lake Art Museum, the city's first new fine art gallery in 3 decades. That would be really fun, actually, to have that downtown Salt Lake. Apparently, I think it's coming next year. I think that's what it said. I can't remember. But get ready for that, everyone. Camila Cabello has a new boyfriend, and he is a billionaire. Camila Cabello cozies up with rumored new billionaire heir boyfriend, Henry Jr. Chalub, I think is how you say it, in St. Bart's. Camila appears to be starting off 2025 with a new romance. She was seen with him on the beach while vacationing in St. Bart's. His family is from Dubai, I think it is. Let's see. Chalub's family, founded the Dubai-based luxury fashion distribution company called Chalub Group, which works with Versace, Jimmy Choo, and several LVMH-owned brands per business of fashion. According to the official website, the company focuses on being a partner and creator of luxury experiences in the Middle East. The Chalub Group was recognized in Forbes in 2023. Top 100 family businesses. The magazine also reported the late Michael Chalub and family were worth $1.7 billion as of 2019. It's just so sad to see people living your dreams. But good for her. she people have been she's one of those celebrities that people are just mean to no matter what, and it makes me feel so bad. 59 minutes. Okay, we got a few more things to check off the list here. I did not know this, but Conan O'Brien's parents died in December, and this is where I know like heartbreak is a real thing, and it truly is just a sad thing, because it says Conan O'Brien shares touching tribute to his parents after they die within days of each other. The comedian's dad, Dr. Thomas F. O'Brien, passed away December 9th at age 95. 3 days later, his mom, lawyer Ruth Reardon O'Brien, died at 92. I'm like, oh, it's like Debbie Reynolds and, oh my gosh, I just forget her name, Carrie Fisher, the mom and daughter. Obviously, Carrie Fisher was Princess Leia, but I think she died first, and then Debbie Reynolds died shortly after, and I really truly think she died of a broken heart, which is so sad, and it's just devastating. But the reason I saw this was because some cheap news outlet posted a picture of Conan and his son walking around the streets of LA, I don't know, getting something, and they're like, Conan enjoys a nice outing while city burns around him. And people were like, oh my god, give this guy a break. He's not even doing anything wrong, and his parents literally just died, both of them. And I'm like, what? I had no idea. That's really sad. He said, my dad was the dreamer, and my dad was the one who was saying, I'm off to Peru with a change of clothes in my briefcase to try and launch this website for a hospital there, high in the mountains. His mom was a lawyer. She says, my mom was the one who really saw to me when we were little that we were fed and our clothes were laid out, and that we got our dental appointments and medical appointments. She's doing all this mom stuff, and then when she was done, rushing into the phone booth and becoming Ruth O'Brien's second woman partner at Ropes and Gray. So yeah, that's really, really sad. I love Conan O'Brien. My goal is to meet him one day. I would love to meet Conan. I would love to work for him. Honestly, just to be in his presence at all time would be so funny. It is the 24th anniversary of the Lizzie McGuire movie, which is crazy. crazy. I love that movie. I still remember when I first watched it. I'm like, this is one of the greatest pieces of cinema I've ever seen in my entire life. And it still stands true. I showed it to my nieces a few years ago. They had never seen it. I'm like, all right, sit down right now. We are turning this on. I just love it. I love it so much. It's so fun. It's so camp. It's so light, and it's just an easy movie to watch. And don't get me started on the final music scene. And the last thing we'll end on is there's rumors that Olivia Rodrigo has a new album coming out. Let's see. Where did I get rid of it? What I saw on Instagram was it was supposed to be called Kiss, but then someone else said it's where I wish I wouldn't have gotten rid of that article. Online it says that it's called something different, so I don't know. It would make sense though, because she released Guts, sorry. I'm like, what is it called? She released Guts in 2023, right? The end or the middle of 2023? Is that right? Because she toured all last year. Yeah, I think that's right. And usually newer artists like this, they tend to release albums every few years just to keep up their momentum, and they're like on a hot streak right now. And then when they become like super famous, like Lady Gaga, Katy Perry, although Taylor Swift is an exception because she just keeps releasing music, but they tend to slow down and release music like every 4 or 5 years, which is so annoying. But yeah, she's still young, and they've got a lot of talent and songs and concerts to do before the people say she's too old to be in Hollywood, which is crazy. Anyway, that is it for today. This time next week, I might be going through withdrawals because TikTok will have been gone for 1 day officially, and I don't know how I'm going to cope with that, but who knows? Maybe I'll go back to school. Anyway, Thank you for listening. Go subscribe anywhere you can. Apparently, people are saying download the albums. I don't know how that helps in any way, but go ahead and download it. Leave me another 5-star rating. You can comment on the episode in Spotify. Please do that. Also, if you're interested, sign up for the Patreon. It's $5 a month. You get 2 extra episodes a month with that. And they're just more deep dive videos. So if you're interested in that, go and find it. It's on the phone. I'm on the phone with KCK on patreon.com, or you can get the app. And yeah, I love the support. Thank you for everyone that listens, and I will see you next week. Bye.